Yo, we are here. It is the draft recap and the week one preview. We are ready to fucking go. All right. So basically, with the draft recap, I'm removing myself from this. I went on to a number of different sites, input our draft. Those sites ranked them 1 to 12. I took the average of those four, and we arrived at our letter grades assigned 12 to 1. What I want to do is I just want to run through those really quickly, and then we'll get into the week one preview. Draft recaps, I mean, come on. It's a lot of fun. But I don't think it's going to matter when the chips fall down. I don't remember what I gave even last year. I should look back at that and see what draft grade I gave to our champ. Anyway, let's get right into this. I don't want to waste any time. The four sites, we've got ADP Daddy, Keep Trade Cut, Fantasy Nav, and Pro Football Network. We're going to start at the bottom. Now, the letter grade is assumed, so there's 12 slots, A+ to D-. The first of the bottom one, which is technically a D-, I'm actually going to give a D to two teams because of the fact that they actually were an aggregate tie. So those two teams are the Rose City Ravens and the Studio City Dinskies. So they both end up with Ds. I'm not going to give them D-. Interestingly enough, they both had an 11.5 aggregate. I don't know how we ended up here. The Ravens have McCaffrey, they have Mahomes, they have London. Maybe they just hated the fact that there's not a full starting lineup and a shitload of fucking IDP guys. That's my take, as opposed to Studio City, who's got Hurts, Neighbors, Pittman, Pickens, Diggs, and then we have an early Parsons in the 6th, Roquan Smith in the 10th. So we have some IDP guys here as well that are going to need cleaning up because that's what Sleeper does. It punishes you for auto drafting. And I feel for Dinsky because he was at the dentist getting his kid's tooth repaired. Shout out to Dinsky's kid. Hope he's all right. Nonetheless, those two are the bottom. They both get Ds. Not a promising way to start with the roster. Now, next up, D+, the Sherwood Forest Turkeys, drafting from the number 2 spot, talking shit to me on text while not being on the draft. They've got Jefferson, they've got Jackson, they've got Kelsey, Tank Dell, Monty in Detroit. They're Detroit heavy. They got J-Mo, young rookie Brian Thomas, Watson on Green Bay. This team looks fun to me on paper. I like what I do like what they're thinking, but Sam Darnold is throwing to Jefferson. There are questions here. Like, I don't have a crystal ball, but there are some things. I think Montgomery is a strong pick. J-Mo's a wild card as much as I want for him to be amazing. I think he will be, but I objectively, he hasn't done anything to this point. Nick Chubb, again, is he even going to play this fucking year? I don't know. So D+ to the Sherwood Forest Turkeys. They come in 10th. Next up, the Bay State Breakers and Jeff with a C- in the 9th spot. They've got some super talent at the top: Hall, Olave, Walker, Waddle, and it starts to get a little weird into the middle round with Caleb Williams, Keenan Allen. I don't know about that Chicago combination, to be honest with you, and I think that's where this is coming from. They get a C-. Things could still look up for all these teams, but this is where we're at. So Mr. I is the next at number 8. They get a C. Dave gets a C. I got to be honest. I like Dave's draft. He did draft from the 11th spot. I love Devonta Smith, Wilson, Gibbs. Kamara's a maybe. People are high on Trey McBride. I don't fully, we'll see what happens there. Burrow's a great pick in the 8th. I think that's fantastic. I think Mostert could be really good. I think in the latter part, these sites, they were not as high on some of those later rounds, I guess, maybe. I don't really know. But Dave goes a C, 8th best. Now, moving on, the Capybaras and Yim, C+ with a 7th best draft. There were a lot of people talking early on saying, man, So Young won this draft. I know a couple people texted me saying she won the draft. I feel like it was a really good draft. Bijan, Puka, Devontae Adams is going to be catching a lot of balls. James Cook, Scary Terry. I mean, there is a serious amount of talent on this roster. And upside with Jackson Smith, with Spears. I like the floor of Goff. Who knows what the wide receiver room in Green Bay is going to be with Dobbs. But overall, I think this is a great draft. I think this is a little low for them. I think 7 and a C plus maybe is a little bit harsh, but those are the numbers that came in. So moving on, Geenan, number 6, the Chicago Beanbags with a B minus, taking what arguably could be the best receiver. CD Lamb just got the bag. Pacheco, a lot of people are stoked on. Debo, QB1, Josh Allen, a lot of people are thinking he's QB1 to get that guy in the 4th round. That's pretty sick. Connor, Ridley, Jones. I mean, I think it softens up a little bit here later, like obviously with everyone, but a solid B minus and middle of the pack draft. Drafting 4th and getting the 6th best draft, I guess, is maybe not what you're ideally wanting, but it is what it is. Moving on to number 5, the New York Yankees and Drew. They've expelled Will from the front office, and they drafted 6th, ended up getting the 5th best draft, so improved themselves a little bit. A solid B there. Keep Trade Cut was the highest on them with a number 2 ranking, and Pro Football Network gave them a 9. So there's a lot of variance in what people think and love about this draft. I gotta say, I think it's strong. 2 receivers out the gate, Amon-Ra and Harrison, following that up with Jacobs and Swift. The running back room is a question for me here. Jacobs and Swift. Swift is hurt a lot. I watched him in Detroit for many years. He's never been a bell cow type guy. I love the Stroud pick at 5, but is there regression there? Will Kittle be consistent? There are questions. So a B grade, number 5 overall. Now, moving on. Number 4, drafting from the 7 spot is Javi. Javi was making breakfast. He was drafting people. He had his wife's birthday. This dude was doing it all, and he still managed to get a top 4 draft. A B plus grade. I like it. It's a nice set of players here. I love the Jaden Daniels pick late. Adonai Mitchell is a sleeper that could hit for them. Does Pitts come back into form? I like all these guys. I think that it's an interesting team. I feel like this might be a little bit high. Like I might swap the Yim roster and Javi's roster here, but these are the numbers. What do we got here? Keep Trade Cut thought this was the best draft, whereas ADP Daddy gave it the 7th best. So again, some variance. Into the top 3 we go. Into the top 3. A minus Seattle Hart with the number 3 overall draft after drafting 10th overall. Who says you can't draft on the turn? So A.J. Brown, Etienne, Mike Evans, Joe Mixon, Dak Prescott. I feel like this is like the old guy team. I'm looking for a guy that's under the age of 40 on this roster, and I'm not finding it. Nico Collins in the 12th. I think he's 38. Props to Hart, number 3. Solid draft according to these websites, and our number 3 overall draft in the league. Top two. And it's not going to be me at number 2. It's going to be Eric, our defending champ. He pulls down an A grade in the 2nd best draft according to these websites. So even better job considering he was drafting 12. So they must love the Taylor Barkley combo, the Metcalf Moore combo. I personally love DJ Moore. I think he's going to have a monster year with Caleb. I think Barkley and Taylor are as well. So if all those hit, and then the combo of Richardson and Love, this is another strong team out of Miami. They could be a problem. Hey, man, A plus draft for this guy right here. Not gonna. Hey, Tyreek Hill, Derrick Henry, Cooper Kupp went a little wild there with 3 wide receivers in row. Kupp, Rice, Higgins, Kyler Murray, little scratch off lotto ticket. Hope he does well this year and stays healthy. And then 4 running backs in a row, which I'm hoping that one pans out. And our keeper, Sam Laporta, the West Adams Wolfpack. It's a statement of intent here. We're coming for the crown, and proud that we've got a 3rd overall, number 1 draft grade here with an A+. A+. So there you go. There are the draft grades according to these 4 fantasy websites that I've never read until today. I'm happy to share this data for any conspiracy theorists, RFK Jr. voters out there that don't believe that this is real. This is real. This is math. This is science. So the draft grade that I'm giving you based on these 4 websites that I've never read will define your season. without question. Moving on, we are going to get into the week 1 preview. I'm going to be quick. I know we're all busy. I don't know what's going on in your life. I'm just here to give you a little fantasy update, give you a little snap reaction on the draft recap, and give you a little preview about what's coming. Actually, opening day is my birthday, so I'm recording this a little early, so this shit could change. I don't know. Maybe injuries happen, maybe whatever goes down, but I wanted to get this out of the way so I could get this draft recap to you guys, get this week 1 preview to you. Let's kick it off with the Turkeys and Studio City. 11 all-time matchups together. The last one the Turkeys took, and they are 7-4 all-time against Studio City. So this should be a great matchup. This would be the crap bowl according to our grading system. I do think there's talent on these teams. I'm going to pick the Turkeys to come out of this one victorious. Moving on, another crap draft grade team in Porter and Caleb. They don't have a full starting lineup. They still have a bench full of IDPs. I'm hopeful that they will fix that. One of them. There are 2 people running this team. One of them has to be able to set a lineup and work the waiver wire. The Rose City Ravens, 2-4 all time against the Jabronis, 4-2 for the Jabronis, and they won the last one by about 20 points. So I'm going to pick them to roll by maybe a little bit more than that this time. Great. Moving on. This is an all-timer. Hart versus So Young. Seattle versus the Capybaras. So Young all-time, 12-9, 21 matchups between these 2 teams. And only thing is, Hart has taken the last 2. And he did the last one pretty handily, putting up 170 points almost. So I think this is going to be a great game. And I'm picking the Capybaras to pick up their first win of the season. Sorry, Hart. It's my birthday week, man. What am I going to do? Pick my wife to lose? Come on. Moving on. Bay State. Jeff and the Bay State Breakers against the Chicago Beanbags, one of the OG franchises. And you know what? The Bags have been absolutely fucking owned by Bay State. 5-1 Bay State is against the Beanbags all time. They have a 5-game winning streak on the line in this game, and I'm going to keep that going. Bay State wins, makes it 6 in a row. Here we go. Next up, we've got the Miami culture, whatever we want to say is going on down there. Miami, 6-3 all time against Mr. I. 3 wins in a row. That goes to 4. The defending champ gets out the gate with another win. I think it's going to be close. You heard it here first. And finally, the West Adams Wolfpack against the Yankees. This is turning into a little bit of a rivalry. 6 all-time matches, completely dead heat, 3-3 across the board. I did take the last one, I'm proud to say, and I think I'm going to take this one too. Not going to bet against myself. I enjoy playing Drew. Sleeper gives me 56% chance, so coming for you, man. Coming for you, man. So listen, a couple of quick notes. Drop your new logos, drop your new team names into Sleeper. I sent those logos out so we could fancy up the Sleeper site. You can put our new team names up on there. Gonna have more announcements from the team branding stuff going on just for fun. That's going to be coming down into this season, and hopefully be able to get some of you guys on the pod. Maybe I can get Drew on next week. That'd be fun. One job. The one job pool is off and running. You guys are already sorted within the fee. We have that built in, but I wanted to just remind you, we need a kicker pick as well each week. You know the rules by now. Some of you don't play. I think 1 or 2 of you decide just to burn that, which is crazy. But if you opt in this year to do that, that's cool. You should do that. Anyway, listen, this has been great. This has been fun. I'm going to keep it sweet. Looking forward to kicking off this season and kicking all your asses as the season goes on. I'll talk to you soon.